Hey all, I'm Peter Abrahamson. I'm also known as the Bot Whisperer on the TV show BattleBots, and we're gonna have a great conversation today with a lot of people involved in robot combat. Not just BattleBots, not just NHRL, but a lot of other things. So I want to start that off with bringing out the NHRL CEO, Kelly Biderman. Next, I'd like to bring out the co-creator, executive producer, and my best friend since 7th grade, Greg Munson of BattleBots. The creator and builder of the BattleBot Malice, Bunny Liaw. A man that needs no introduction in robot combat, the deadliest man alive, Ray Billings of Tombstone. And Giant Nut winner. The evil henchman of NHRL, Sam Hanson. The creator of hijinks, Jen Herchenroeder. The best dressed man in robot combat, the creator of Hypershock, Will Bales. If only I could wear shoes like him. The mad genius, the creator of Tantrum, the creator of the epically technical phenomenal blip, Aren Hill.
Hardware.
Adding a few more nuts and bolts to the pile. We have the creator of Scorpius, driver of Scorpius, also the runner of Bot Bash, Zach Lytle. And to finish out our panel, we've got the tallest man in robot combat, also works at Destructathon as the lead repair engineer for BattleBots, Bradley Hanstad, builder of Triton. Kelly, let's just start with you. So NHRL is arguably the best 3 to 30 pound robot combat event you could go to. Like, it is amazingly well put together and professional. You guys have now created a traveling version of the show, as well as last year you gave out over $1 million to STEM foundations. What does NHRL have planned for the future?
Thanks so much. Thanks, Pete. We're just so grateful for everybody's support of NHRL and our growth. It's just been a really amazing journey so far. We've so much in store for the robot community and for the wider STEM community. We have always had a goal of accessibility and bringing more accessibility into the sport, lowering barriers to entry, and I think that, initiatives like our charitable giving help with that, but there's so much more that we're able to do and looking forward to do. The last year has just been crazy. We have seen just such an enormous amount of growth for NHRL across social media. We're on track to have over 1 billion views of our content this year, which is just an enormous achievement. We are bursting at the seams in Norwalk, Connecticut, so we are taking it national. And that's really exciting. What that will mean is, going from having 7 events a year, we'll have more events in more places. So we will not limit ourselves to 7, not limit ourselves to, the same kinds of events. I think you're going to see a lot more different kind of activations from NHRL, which we're really excited about. Our goal is big. Our goal is in the next few years to bring 25,000 builders into robot combat. So
You guys could be some of those builders.
yes, you can. You should be some of those builders if you're not already. We have an amazing community. We're just really looking forward to bringing more and more people into the sport, and there's a lot of initiatives that we have to do that. We're launching an academy, so that'll come out this fall, and that will give many more people the opportunity to get engaged in the sport, get mentors, and our community members are chomping at the bit to be able to mentor new builders. So we're really excited to create that program. And, our wider goal at Havoc is not to stop there, but we really believe that we're creating a new category of sports. We believe that there is a world of iSports, or intelligent, innovative sports, where it's about brains over brawn, where, what we hear all the time at NHRL is that people find their people here. I think that everyone on this stage feels that this community has offered them something that maybe traditional sports have not, and we believe that there are a lot more people out there who feel that way, and we want to create so much more opportunity for those extraordinary and brilliant people to harness that potential. And that's what iSports is about. It's about finding world changers and giving them a place to come and do that. So we're really excited. There's just so much potential beyond just robot combat and what we're doing at NHRL today. So a lot there.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And on that same topic, Zach, I want to talk to you actually, because I know out there are a few people going, my kid watches BattleBots or NHRL and really loves robot combat. How do I get them involved? We know NHRL has lots of things open, but you do too.
So I've been working with kids, getting them into STEM and robotics for the last 10 years. I have my own company, Bot Bash Parties, which does children's birthday parties with robots, where they get to drive a robot and feel the excitement of it. And once they feel that, they have to build their own. And I always recommend to parents to go get a FingerTech robotics starter kit. There's so many kits out there now, and if you are older getting into this, look into some of the new Beetle kits. I know Bunny's making a kit. I know there's a whole ton of kits coming out of NHRL. Sorry. But it's get a kit, get to a competition. I spent 4 years getting an associate's degree from the local junior college before I went to my first event. And although I appreciated the degree, I learned so much more at the event. So go to robotcombat.com, find the builders database, find local tournaments, and just get down there. And one of the biggest things is you're gonna get your first robot wrecked. That's literally the initiation to the club. Don't make a masterpiece, just make something that passes safety. Get down there, get it trashed, and then you get to talk to the other builders and find out the secrets, the techniques, the right way to build robots, the wrong way to build robots. And it's really an amazing community, and once you get plugged into it, the whole world just opens up to you.
Thank you, Zach. Bunny, so you've been building robots for quite a while now, but you've just recently, in the past couple of years, started to sort of branch tangentially to that building robots by merchandising. The amount of merch you have brought along with Malice and the help you've given to a lot of other teams with merchandising, is it funding Malice? Are you making enough? Tell us about where you're going with it.
My merch does not fund anything. Malice is a passion project, and I truly and wholeheartedly believe that there's no wrong way to do this sport, and there's no wrong way to come in and be who you are. And it's so wonderful that you can express yourself in so many different ways, not just through your robots, but through everything that you do. And as long as you're kind and you're helpful and you're welcoming, like, there's a place for you in this community. And as long as you're just there to bring joy to everyone, I think is the best way to be. And so I try to help everyone I can, and I try to make sure that I am approachable and that people will come and talk to me so I can share with them how much this place has changed my life and how much this community has made everything that I am me. Like they've just let me be confident, and they've let me grow through all my phases. I've been doing this 21 years, so I was a baby when I started.
Basically letting everybody share within Malice by giving them a small piece of Malice or a piece of jewelry.
Everyone needs a little Malice in their life.
Aren, do you have a microphone over there?
I do.
Awesome. So, as long as I've known you, you've had a very unconventional approach to building combat robotics. You've built an amazing puncher with Tantrum that became a championship robot. You've built, obviously, my favorite technological marvel, Blip, as a flipper.
Thank you, thank you.
What does Seem Reasonable's team have planned for the future?
That's a fun one because, well, one, I've got an awesome team. If you see anybody running around with Tantrum shirts today, there's like 10 of us. Talk to any of them about robots, and not an island. And the fun thing is, I got like 5 different answers to that question based on what we're looking at. So we're starting cranking away at our next heavyweight robot called the Twins. I actually ordered parts a couple days ago. So that's the next. It's multi-bot vertical spinner, 125 pounds apiece. We've also got a whole lot. We have 3 robots competing over at NHRL. We like hardware. We'd like some more of it. We don't have any golden dumpsters yet, so we need to get some of those. Plans for new flippers, plans for some funky hammer saw robots, Dutch ovens, the cool flamethrower robot that's going a lot. So there's a lot of us, and that question has a lot of answers.
Yes.
Doing more fun, cool stuff, like just keep pushing boundaries, because a lot of them are fake.
Speaking of pushing those boundaries, Jen, talking about unconventional. You have a fine arts degree, and yet now you are a flight test engineer.
Yes.
You've done robot combat, you've done Power Wheels racing, you've done motorsport. Like, how did this path happen?
Well, I was trying to think of like how could I condense this story into like 3 minutes, and there's no way. Because like the truth is, I went from a homeless teenager to being a person who builds electric aircraft for money and races cars for fun and builds robots to hang out with my friends. And like I cannot tell you that story in 3 minutes. It's a lot. But there's some core things that along the way have changed my life. And I want to share those ideas with you. And if you like forget everything else I say, the first thing is like, do not wait until you have skill to start your project. Your project will teach you the skill. I have never gone into a project knowing what I was doing. And it's great. You will learn everything you need while you're doing the project. And also, do not wait until you have confidence to start pursuing what you want. The confidence comes when you are doing it and it's going well. I still get imposter syndrome sometimes. I'll be at work like, oh boy, this is a complicated problem. And then I can open my own portfolio and I can see I've built 3 electric vehicles. One was a world champion. I raced against that guy and I beat him, so he got that, but I got a racing championship.
I also have a racing championship.
He did the next year. He did. But yeah, I've built 3 electric vehicles. I've built 4 aircraft. I've built kinetic sculptures. I've been working in architecture. I have this undeniable list of successful projects. Whenever I feel bad about my skill, I look, no, I'm fine. I did all of that. And then I can build on that. And then I go apply for jobs I'm not qualified for, and I get them because I know I can do the work. So like that's what I want you to take away from this. Like, do the thing. Build the skill as you go. Develop the confidence in time, and it will work. Like, it will work out for you, I promise.
Awesome. Thank you. Greg, Mr. Munson.
Yes, sir.
You have 7 successful seasons of BattleBots under your belt. Do you have any plans for the future?
No, I'm taking a break.
Okay.
No.
I'll join you. We're retiring together, right?
Yes, exactly. BattleBots has a lot of exciting things to announce. But before I announce anything, I just want to thank all the robot builders because the sport is not, it's not BattleBots, it's not a TV show, it's not any one league or anything like that. It is these guys who break their butts building these bots to entertain all of us and teach kids about STEM engineering and inspire us all. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you all. That said, there is more TV coming. We have BattleBots Champions, which we shot back in October, but Discovery is holding on to it, so that should be coming out at some time soon, hopefully this year. Obviously, we're going to be shooting World Championship 8, hopefully early next year. We are excited to announce that we now, BattleBots has been one of these things where we have to set up the arena. It takes forever. It's this thing that fits in 37 trucks. It takes a week to set it up, and then we tear it all down and bring it to Vallejo and fix it. Now we have a permanent facility in Las Vegas, so it's set up all the time. So we are now doing two things. One, we have a nightly live show in Las Vegas called BattleBots Destructathon. And basically, we have a bunch of showbots. Like Will built 5 Hypershocks. The Vasquez's built 5 Whip Flashes. There's Witch Doctors. There's like 12 of these. Bradley's working there.
Don't forget.
Malice is there. Thank you. Yes. And they fight every night.
The rest of us didn't.
They fight every night for the thrill and excitement of a live Vegas crowd. So if you're ever in Vegas, just come by Destructathon. We do 5 shows a week. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. What I'm most excited about the Destructathon is every weekend we have a thing called Proving Ground, which is where anybody who wants to build a 250-pound robot can come to Vegas, fight it, and show it off. And if it's awesome, it might get into the BattleBots TV show. But better than that, you're getting your feet wet into the sport of robot combat. You're testing out new things. You're showing how awesome your robot is. Aren's going to bring the twins out there in September. Who you're fighting again? I forget.
Currently Fireball. Which is also a tiny version of over at NHRL right now.
Yeah, and a lot of these things start at NHRL and they scale up to the 250-pound class. So if you're into that, do that. So hope you all can come out to Vegas and check out the live destruction happening there. We're not sawing people in half, we're sawing robots in half.
On that topic of Vegas, Bradley Hanstad. I've known you since you were competing at Zod's Bots back in, I don't know, what was that, 20 years ago? As you've been in robot combat. And now you are the head of the repair engineer of keeping, and a driver, at Destructathon alive.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy to have a dream job. You don't really realize it's your dream job when you have the job. But it kind of was started when, like you said, 20 years ago, I saw BattleBots on TV on Comedy Central, and I was like, I want to do this. No one in my family was an engineer. I didn't have anyone that could really teach me to do that. But I went online. I figured out how to do things. I got into it, and I started your competition with a little tiny 1-pound robot. Did really well, met up with a team. I ended up, working in a lawnmower shop building robots with my good friend Ted Shimoda, who built BattleBots back in the day. And by meeting up with a teammate that had more information, he basically was able to pass it on to me. And as I progressed through all of that, I learned more and more, and I got more into it. I started educational leagues in Southern California. We had like 20 area high schools doing 50-pound combat robots. I built all of these different, from all weight classes, basically, I have competed in at this point. And finally, building BattleBots and being in almost every season except for like season 1 and season 5 with different teams, I've learned through all these different robots and all these different builders how to do crazy things. And, I got to the point where I happened to be in Vegas at the right time. Destructathon was, needing an engineer that had experience with BattleBots, and I just happened to luck into it. And now I'm driving, 4 nights a week. I'm driving big robots that other people built for me to drive. But then I have to fix them, unfortunately, which is the hard part. But, in fixing them, I'm learning so much more. And really, my takeaway is, do what you want, just like what Jen was saying. Get involved, start small, work your way up. I've participated all over the world now. I've been to NHRL, I've been to China. I've really just had an opportunity to get into it by just doing it and just saying yes and start building. So,
awesome. Sam, you are known as the lead evil henchman at NHRL. You have built arenas, you've built an array of house robots, you've built a amazing jet-powered weapon that fits on a robot. What was your path? How did the job find you? Did you find the job? And a side note to that is, what is the evil henchman origin story? Because obviously, if you're a henchman, you've got to have an origin story.
Right. Pretty much the same way anybody else gets a job. A billionaire posts a screenshot of a paragraph on Discord, and you send an email at about 2 a.m. in fugue state, and just hope for the best. You get a call back later that week, and You do a couple Zoom interviews, and you say the three magic words to get you a job in combat robotics. I beat JMO. And apparently that was enough.
That's usually enough. That's a pretty big ask at this point in time. So,
And as far as an origin, it's pretty comparable to a lot of the builders up here. 20 years ago, BattleBots was on Comedy Central. I saw it, became obsessed. I watched Robotica, I watched Robot Wars. Any bit of robot combat I could take in, I would. I went to the Delphi forums back in the day, and then it went to Facebook, and now it's on Discord, and I've just been with it from the get-go, and that's been my constant. The jobs that I've done to fund these robots have shifted a lot, but as long as you keep focusing on your passion and you say yes to any opportunity that comes your way, like, you can end up on stage with your heroes.
with this group, I know, pretty amazing. Mr. Bales.
Mr. Abramson.
You've been in this sport for quite a while. I think I met you when you were still in high school. You've been running Hypershock for some time now. It's had its ups and downs.
Yes.
What keeps you coming back?
Man, well, I think there's three things. Number one, borderline obsession and or addiction.
We can get a 12-step program for that.
Yeah. First step is admitting you have a problem. I like Sam said, like Brad said, like Bunny said, I've been watching BattleBots since I was a tiny little kid. I watched it on Comedy Central. I grew up and said, man, I'd love to do this, and I was doing it however I could. I did the BattleBots IQ program in high school. That's how I got to meet Greg. And then when the show came back in 2015 on ABC, I got this phone call from Trey saying, hey, we're doing it. You want in? I said, yes, absolutely. And I've been stuck ever since. The second reason is the community. Like Bunny and Jen said, this is an opportunity to see all our friends, meet new friends who are like-minded. It's a wonderful community. It's a wonderful thing for me to do with friends and family. I suckered my wife into this, and now she's actually a better driver than I am. So in the BattleBots Champions series that Munson mentioned, she's actually driving, because she actually is better than me. So it's really cool to do that together. And then there's the third thing is the itch. I'm sure everyone in this building right now has the same thing where you'll go for maybe a week where you're not doing anything, you don't have a project, and then you start getting antsy, and you're sitting there watching Netflix, and I'm like, I need to do something. I need to solder a thing. I need to, I need to fix. Going back to the first part about the addiction. It's an opportunity to try new things and express myself technically and artistically, and learn new skills. Like Jen said, I have no idea what I'm doing, but we've managed to con some sponsors into giving us money, and that enables us to do these really cool things and build these amazing robots that just kick the crap out of each other. It's fantastic.
Saving the best for last. Ray,
Yes.
Tombstone has inspired so much fear in builders over the years. People have Tombstone plows, Tombstone armor configurations.
They better.
But something you've done differently than many builders is you have not rebuilt Tombstone from the ground up every time.
I think that's a failure for a lot of builders when they start out. Is they'll build something that is cool, and they've got, I don't know, 75% of it is awesome, and they screw up the other part of it so bad. And so then they decide, well, that sucks, and I'm gonna flush that one. I'm gonna build something completely different. And that's not how engineering works. Okay, you start out with an idea, and then you iterate it. You improve. So you had all of these things that worked well, and these things that didn't. So you go back to those things that didn't, and make those better. And that process never stops. None of these robots are done. Okay, we're always updating them. There's no such thing as a finished one. You're always updating it to make it better. And you got to keep that process going. And of course, when you finally reach something that works, then the nature of all of us, we're going to add a little more power, and now stuff that didn't breaks. Now everything starts breaking again, and you got to do it all over again. And that's how you go from I've got an idea to I've got a giant nut on the floor. Yeah. Okay. All right. Don't make me point to you. All right. That's how you get there. Is by starting out with an idea, seeing the potential to it, and then just keep working at it. Just keep going until you make it better and you get where you need to go. By the way, I beat JMO too.
So did I.
I also
Nicely
did.
done.
We all beat you.
We also all like him. Jane was great.
Jay was fabulous.
We all love it, but yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, do any of you have questions for our builders in our panel? Sir.
Oh, thank you. There seems to be no floor on the price of drones. So what's next for combat in the air?
Ooh, drone combat.
I'm just saying, drones are amazing. They took out my robot. I think I'm the only robot that's actually been taken out by a drone.
I think Will needs to talk about drones.
Oh no, you have two.
Yeah, I'm just gonna buy a longer rake. So who saw the rake? All right, so for those of you who haven't seen the rake fight, back in season 2, they allowed drones, and they said, okay, you're gonna have 10-pound drones, and you can have some propane on them. We said, that's dumb. That's not gonna be cool. They're gonna fly around, and it'll be neat for a little bit, but what are they gonna do? So we said, we're gonna put a rake on the robot, and we at first were worried that we were gonna look like complete idiots, but we lucked out, and we actually swatted the drone out of the sky.
Hyper rake.
And I think at that point, that's when we said, oh, yeah, drones aren't going to do a whole lot. So I'd love to be proven wrong, but I'm going to make a bigger rake.
So if you do have questions, the microphone is right over here. If anybody wants to come up and quickly give a question.
I'm guessing we've all been wondering, 250 pounds, yeah, that's nice, that's big. When are you guys gonna go bigger? When are you gonna go 1,000 pounds, 10,000?
They need to build us
Giant
a bigger
necks.
arena.
We
We've
need
always
so
wanted
much
to
money
do.
for that. We need so much money.
The U.S. military would like to talk with you.
We just need a place to play that's big enough to run them. I'll build a 1,000-pounder.
Yeah, we had the idea for BattleBots Extreme where anything you could fit in a 40-foot shipping container was fair game. You bring it out to the salt flats, you build it. You build an array of shipping containers, and you have everyone up on scissor lifts because it's going to be insanely dangerous. But yeah, it's financially stupid.
Sign me up.
Sorry, quick question. What's the best spot you ever built?
The best spot I ever built was Malice.
Tombstone. Duh.
La Machine.
For me, it's my 150-gram robot microdrive because it got me my scholarship to college.
For me, it's a plastic ant, so a 3D printed ant, and it was called Finger Butt.
Well, I built a robot called Peepers, and Peepers was a dissector BattleBots toy kit that has survived for 20 years now, and it has peeps glued on top of it, and it is very fearsome. Yes.
Can we eat the peeps, or?
I 100% after every fight eat a peep. Doesn't matter how dirty the arena is, I eat a peep.
That's a BattleBots guarantee
That's how
right
he
there,
got so
Peter.
tall.
Jen?
The best and worst robot I ever built was a combat cheeseburger.
Royale with cheese.
I'm the only one up here who hasn't built a robot yet.
We can fix that, you know.
Kelly, we can fix that.
Pete, what's your robot?
Ronan. I think that's the only one I would say I was pretty happy with.
And I'll say my crew and I haven't built our best robot yet.
So I'm a relatively new-ish college student looking to get into this arena and also possibly con my school into funding a senior project going into like the 30-pound-ish range. How would you suggest I get from where I am now as like a just recently end of first year mechanical engineering student to where you guys are?
Start small. Go do an event, Look at robotcombatevents.com, find your local events, start going to them.
NHRL website has some good stuff on it too.
Apply for an NHRL collegiate grant. We gave away, or we're in the process of giving away $110,000 grants, and there are a few left. So you can apply for one of those on our website, nhrl.io.
This is obviously a very expensive hobby. What are your guys' day jobs, if you still have them?
I work at Suncut Send. We cut a lot of parts for the robots on stage here and other companies. So we cut parts for everyone.
Medical device engineer, seeing a lot of the insides of people with robots. So it's a different scale of things.
I'm retired, so at least now at this point, I just use my time to make these parts rather than spend as much. I like being retired, by the way.
I currently work as a design engineer at CellLink. We make flexible circuits for electric cars.
I'm an evil henchman for a fighting robot league. It really helps out with the robot building.
Similarly, I work for BattleBots. Technically, on my resume, it's Giant Nut Productions. And I work for Destructathon, building and driving robots every night.
I am a subscale flight test engineer for Archer Aviation, so I build and fly experimental aircraft.
All right, she wins. I'm just another medical device engineer.
Thank you.
High five, Will. High five.
This is my job. I'm the CEO.
This is your job. I'm a mechanical designer for a company called Applied Inventions. Currently, we're building a 10,000-year clock, if you've heard about it.
I do all the social media for BattleBots, even though I'm the president of the company.
We wear many hats.
Hi, we all know that BattleBots is about strategy and tactics and building the best bot you can, balancing weapons versus defense and etc. However, just how much fun is it to get out there and bash another bot?
It's the most fun in the world.
When you carry them around all the time, it's really fun watching them fly through the air. You got a lot more respect for it when it's going, oh.
We obviously all love this. I mean, you see me say that on, I love this sport. And it's legit. We all have a blast doing this. We wouldn't be this devoted and doing this as often as we did if it wasn't a passion.
Thank you.
So I know Havoc was doing a scrap bin challenge yesterday, and they're going to do another today. What would the interest be of doing that like televised? Like you have a whole bot bash and everyone's all wrecked, and then you give them a time limit and a huge bag of parts and just get the scrap bots out there and fight. What's the interest in that?
This was the first junk drawer challenge that we've ever done. Bunny was participating in that. Sam helped to organize it. And, you know, I think that one of the most frequent things we talk about when we talk about, like, in our dreams of what it could look like in the future, a junk drawer, junk yard wars robot show of some ilk. There's so many different ways that it's been talked about. I think it would be super fun. That was such a fun thing to do yesterday, but the first time.
My entire garage is a junk drawer, so that's basically what I do every day anyways.
Relatable.
That was actually so much more fun than I was expecting, and please invite me back to do that again. I doing kids' parties with robots, that's basically me every Friday night of like, oh my God, it's broken, quick, what's in the drawer to fix it? And so I just felt right at home.
Hot glue, and hot glue, and hot glue.
You'll definitely see it again on an NHRL stream.
I just like turning them into scrap, so that's...
That's why he's the bad guy.
One of the things about this sport, if you are not able to accept that you might take your robot home in a bucket, you might not want to be doing this sport. You sort of need to kind of have that as part of, I'm going to maybe fight Ray. You never know, but you could have Ray. And I'm going to bring home a bucket of parts.
Even if you win.
That's a super important point because failure is actually your best friend in robot fighting sports because that is where you're going to learn all your lessons for making it better. What do you guys say about damage?
That's just weakness leaving the robot.
And expensive.
And expensive.
But then you get to build a new one.
And the cycle continues.
Do you have any regrets on what bots you didn't finish building or that got destroyed they didn't rebuild?
I never have any regrets not finishing a project. I think just the time and effort you put into anything, you're gonna have so much fun and you're gonna learn so much. Even if you don't finish it, it's good to at least try.
Then you can still learn a ton from not finishing a project. If you learn enough to know about it that you want to head some other direction with it or change it entirely, that's cool. It's one of the great things about your own free time and hobbies.
Sometimes you'll have ideas that you don't get around to doing, and you might feel that's a regret. That just means you're doing it later. Okay, so you might have a really cool idea, and you're going to do it, but you just haven't got there yet. Yeah.
Like retirement.
Any more?
I grew up with auto racing, and in some of the formats, they have like a standardized car that they run around. Any thoughts of having like rock, paper, scissors robots where the designs are the same and we're just driver against driver, or for some as the sport gets bigger and bigger?
Like a robot spec series?
Yeah.
Not really. Not at NHRL. Like when folks can bring what they want, what they conceive of, what they dream of, what the ideal fighting robot is in their head, and they can bring that to the arena, like that's what really makes it. If they were forced into a box and had to choose one of three designs, like I don't think that would spark the same passion in folks.
Okay.
I think I totally agree. And BattleBots the same way. We want to see maximum creativity. And everything kind of gets homogenized, like vertical spinners start getting more and more perfect, and then hammers will get more and more perfect. But then someone will break the meta and there'll be a whole new thing. And that's the kind of excitement we want to see. There's plenty of robot disciplines and competitions out there where you have a spec, right? We see many of the task-oriented things doing that. What's great about combat robotic, I always say the task-oriented competitions are like the Mars rover. You have a spec, you're going to go to Mars, you're going to study something, you're going to get it done. NHRL, BattleBots, Robot Combat is like Apollo 13. The rocket ship is broken, we're going to die, and if we don't fix it. So it's maximum creativity for us.
And JMO's on the other side of the box.
So I know this sounds far-fetched, but do you have any tips for actually making a BattleBots team financially sustainable? Like, I know you've talked a lot about conning your sponsors.
Yes.
Especially for a team that doesn't really get sponsors because you're like newer. How do you get money?
It's hard. Fact of the matter is, it's the biggest challenge of doing BattleBots, and to me, it's the hardest part of the whole thing. I could build robots all day long, talking to sponsors, cold emailing people and say, "Hi, would you like to pay for my robot that I'm going to go on and destroy on national TV and make you look foolish?" It's difficult, but just start talking to people, local businesses who can offer their services. Maybe not writing a check, but they can make some parts for you. Some of the companies like SendCut Send has been incredibly generous to the robot combat community, offering discounts on parts so you can make your first robot. Go to an event. You might befriend somebody who has a couple extra parts around that might be willing to give to you, especially on the smaller scales.
And then one of the other things is make sure when you start those conversations, you have value to them. So I've had several employers that have sponsored the team, and some teammates still from them. They would like to be associated with a bunch of people who go do this stuff in their free time because it lets other people see that company name on it, and people start coming to them. In some med device land, if you get one good applicant through a door, that is worth thousands of dollars to companies. That is a lot of that's a high value thing.
It's not about just being in a competition on our TV show for the exposure. It's about the trade show. It's about all the ancillary stuff. It's about being in the quarterly newsletter that they can talk about, just what Aren was saying.
Yeah, oftentimes like a trade study of some particular thing a company does and just being able to be part of their advertising content of like, oh, hey, our ballistic grade steel is being used in a BattleBot. Great advertising for them. Going to be more effective for them to take it and send it out than just the TV show exposure. So make sure you're having a conversation of mutual value.
You'd be surprised at who would be interested in sponsoring a robot. My robot is sponsored by Montana Cans. That's a spray paint company, and I have I have the best paint scheme, and Montana Cans knows that, and they put their label on it like, yes, this is good for us. They get to be on TV in front of millions of people. That's fantastic. We were once sponsored by a cheeseburger restaurant in San Francisco because they thought it would be fun. They just enjoyed the idea of it, and then we did a watch party at their restaurant. You can get sponsorship in really unusual locations. So I'd say in your brainstorming, also think, well, what do we need? We needed Aegis bushings. So I contacted Aegis and said, would you like to sponsor my robot? I don't need money, but I love these bushings. These would be great in my weapon shaft. That's the application I'm using them for. And you'd be surprised at how often they're like, oh, you just want $100 in parts? Sure.
And we need the sport to grow. That's going to ultimately get those corporations to want to put money in. I mean, F1 obviously is huge because that's why they get that big bucks. So it's super encouraging to see so many people in the audience wanting to hear this panel. Thank you guys for coming out.
Yes. Thank you all.
So let's watch this sport grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Thank you guys for listening to us ramble on about a sport we love. Thank you.
Open Sauce is back. An event described as better than expected, and I can't believe it wasn't a disaster. Come see groundbreaking technology like this thing. So creepy. And smell over 150 of the best looking creators on YouTube. It's all happening at Cow Palace. June 15th and 16th, San Francisco, Cow Palace. Get your tickets now at opensauce.live.